Can this tiny thing costing 80 bucks sound any good? Let's find out. Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Now what we're having here today is Hidizs S3 Pro, high resolution dongle DAC, and if you follow my channel regularly, you'll probably know that I just recently reviewed Hidizs S9 Pro, which is higher end product. I was really amazed at what that more expensive, bigger DAC can do. And that really caught my attention and increased my awareness of Hidizs as a brand. I wanted to see like, oh, what else they can do. So they sent me actually their latest small DAC dongle, S3 Pro. As I already mentioned in the intro, it costs $79.99 US, so it's cheaper than S9 Pro. It supports high-res DSD, MQA, you name it, basically, it supports it. It's based on Sabre DAC chip 2, the same as S9 Pro, just another version, mobile-friendly version. And because of that, it also offers a little bit less power. And what can I say? It looks nice, it feels nicely built, it's really tiny, really portable. As the input, you have USB-C port, but also in the packaging, you get the USB-C to USB-A adapter, so you can connect this to your laptop, desktop, whatever you want. For Windows 10, for example, it's driverless. You don't need any drivers. I'm not sure about other operating systems, but I really mostly used it with my phone because it's so small, it's meant to be portable. Let's talk about its sound quality, power, and do some comparisons with other DAC dongles. First thing that I noticed is that the sound is really highly resolving. There's lots of details, especially in the mid-range and upper mid-range. Vocals have a lot of texture. Edges of all tones are clear and crisp. Highest frequencies are again very detailed. I feel that I hear a lot of atmosphere, a lot of air from the recordings. And the bass line is well controlled, it's precise, but it's light-footed a little bit. So if you expect some deep, punchy, heavy bass line, you'll not really get that with this DAC dongle. Also, if you prefer warmth, and that usually comes from like upper bass and lower mid-range, again, you will not find much of that here with this dongle. It's more of a precise, highly detailed, but somewhat lean sounding when it comes to the tonality. And because of that, I'll quickly move to pairing. I found it to pair best with slightly bass-heavy in-ears and headphones. So for example, Blonde BL03 comes to mind. That one was really bass-heavy, and in case of that in-ear, this lean, quick, detailed bass line would really do it justice to like balance things out. Also, it worked quite well with more expensive but also really nice NF audio and M2 Plus. I hope I got everything right. These are really detailed in-ears, and this DAC dongle is feeding them with lots of informations, with very rich, detailed, rich sound. But these have also emphasized bass line, and that's good because together you still have a decent amount of bass and weight. If you were to pair this one with leaner or more analytical in-ears, I don't think that most of you would like the results of that. Just for example, Tin Hi-Fi, Tin Audio, T2, T3, T5, or Moondrop Aria, for example, are also like pretty well balanced with tightly controlled bass line. I again don't think that most of you would find that pairing enjoyable because it would be really detailed, but it would lack warmth and lushness of the lower mid-range and some bass weight. And next thing that I wanted to do, and it's a unique opportunity because I'm having this DAC dongle. It's a Hidizs Sonata HD, and I had this one with me for a very long time, like from the beginnings of this YouTube channel. It used to cost, I think, around 30 bucks. It's the most basic, one of the cheapest DAC dongles that you can buy on the market. It uses Cirrus Logic DAC, if I'm correct. And I compared these two just to see when you actually go up in the price range and you buy twice more expensive DAC dongle, do you actually notice that? And yes, you do. Sonata HD is something that's better than most smartphones. It provides more power, more volume, and more details than most smartphones do when they actually have analog 3.5 millimeters out for headphones. So this is like a first step, baby step, to upgrade the sound of your smartphone. And when I then moved to S3 Pro here, I definitely noticed increased level of details. Also, edges are quicker, snappier, baseline is controlled better. It's just like some sort of haze was removed. Everything is crisper and clearer sounding. Now, if I move back to this entry-level Hidizs dongle, I feel like everything is a little bit blurry, unresolving. And yeah, it was really clear that you pay more, you get more. That was kind of expected, but I just like to confirm that anyways. So lastly, I compared S9 Pro that comes at 120, which is actually 50% price hike compared to S3 Pro. And just if you look the specs, this one wields twice the power. They're both using Sabre DAC chip. On paper, as I said, it looks quite similar, and you might think, yeah, why would I pay 50% more if I can have like most of the features and functions with S3 Pro? But there is a noticeable sonic difference. When you actually start using S9 Pro, you immediately notice fuller, more powerful bass line. It has more grunt, more drive, more punch. And because of it, everything sounds just livelier and more dynamic. Same thing with the mid-range. It's more lush, fuller sounding. But when it actually comes to detail retrieval, they're quite similar. S3 Pro puts a really good fight with really good amount of details and texture, air, instrument separation also. But this power and this grunt that comes from the bass line and this lower mid-range richness are definitely something that's making a difference. And this one simply sounds more powerful, more juicy, while this one is leaner and flatter sounding. And when it comes to earphones and headphones that I would pair these two with, S3 Pro feels at home with in-ears and with headphones that are not difficult to drive, that are not power hungry. But when it actually comes to bigger and more demanding headphones, maybe planars or something like that, S3 Pro will struggle a lot. It's just not meant to do that. You'll notice lack of drive, lack of energy. It's not made to do that. S9 Pro is much better in that regard. It can drive these kind of bigger, more power-hungry headphones really decently with really nice results. So finally, my conclusion would be Hidizs S3 Pro costs 80 bucks. For that amount of money, it's really decent and highly portable DAC dongle. It has single-ended output only. It's definitely a clear step up over these type of dirty, cheap budget dongles. But also, if you can spare a little bit more, a little bit extra and go for their better, pricier S9 Pro, you'll get, amongst other things, balanced output, in addition to single-ended. But even if you don't need that balanced output, you still get more power, more drive, fuller, punchier bass line, and fuller, richer mid-range, and ability to drive bigger and more demanding headphones. Now then again, that's up to you. For me personally, I would probably choose S3 Pro in case of having in-ears that are quite bass heavy and bass emphasized. In that case, it's a pretty good deal with lots of details, and that slightly lower energy would not be noticeable. Power is not needed that much with most in-ears, and in that case, in-ears with healthy bassline, actually with slightly emphasized bassline, would be a great match for this one. For anything more neutral, more analytical, and more demanding than that, I would go for S9 Pro. And that would be all for today, guys. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, then click that button, share it with your friends, subscribe, consider becoming a patron too. Huge thanks to all the current patrons. It really helps a lot. And see you next time. Bye.